Well, we have said, just like we're the leader today, if you set aside, with the distortion that's happening with the semi shortage, we have been the leader in the United States. We've been number 2 in China.
How's it going, everyone? This is Daniel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Tesla stock. We're going to go over some of the massive investments that Tesla is going to be doing in the Tesla Austin Gigafactory. We're also going to be talking about the new General Motors Hummer compared to the Cybertruck and what to expect for this vehicle moving forward. We're also going to be watching a video of the General Motors CEO making outrageous claims about their company, comparing it to Tesla. So we're going to go over all this important information in this video coming up. As you can see over here, we have the Tesla Gigafactory that is almost finished. We talked about in the past that Tesla has invested a little bit over $1 billion, and right now they are stating that they're going to be investing more than $10 billion in the near future when it comes to this Gigafactory in Austin. So they're planning, Elon Musk stated that they're planning to employ 20,000 workers, and once the production is full in force, they're also going to be producing the Cybertruck. So once we get this massive announcement that this Tesla Gigafactory is now officially open, we expect that Tesla stock could potentially rally to the upside. So definitely keep an eye on when we get the official announcement for this Gigafactory completion and when it starts production officially. So as we talked about in the past, once everything is completed and this Gigafactory, they're also going to be producing this Cybertruck. So speaking of the Cybertruck, we have General Motors that started to produce the General Motors Hummer. Speaking of the Tesla Cybertruck, we have General Motors Hummer that is now making fun of the Cybertruck. Recently, they started to deliver their electric Hummer, which costs more than $100,000. As you can see over here, they are trying to make fun of the Cybertruck in a strange way. So they're trying to portray that the Hummer is actually above the Cybertruck. So they created this logo on their vehicles, and they're basically trying to make fun of the Cybertruck. So let's check out a detailed breakdown video of the Cybertruck, comparing it to Hummer. And we're also going to be talking about what to look out for this Cybertruck when it comes to the massive updates that it's been getting so far. So first, let's check out this video.
Both EVs are engineered to go off-road. The Hummer EV is specially equipped for this task. A host of new features give drivers more control in tough situations. It has four-wheel steering, it can climb stairs and verticals up to 18 inches tall, has a unique crab walk feature that drives the car diagonally, and cameras underneath the truck help drivers avoid obstacles. Both EVs have huge 35-inch all-terrain tires, adaptive suspensions that can be adjusted for ground clearance, and make use of four-wheel drive. They're massive and will more than likely handle like a Ford Raptor or Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. We'll just have to wait until both cars are out to test them for ourselves. As far as autonomous driving goes, the Cybertruck, like all Teslas, comes equipped with autopilot. The Hummer EV will come with a 3-year subscription to Super Cruise, GM's own autonomous driving technology, though Super Cruise is only hands-free on compatible roads. The new Hummer uses 3 electric motors to produce 1,000 horsepower and 11,500 pound-feet of torque. While Tesla hasn't released the Cybertruck specs, Motor Trend estimates it's around 690 horsepower and 824 pound-feet of torque. Both cars boast a 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, but you'll need to be in Hummer's Watch to Freedom mode, similar to ludicrous mode in a Tesla. Range is one of the most important metrics of any EV. GMC estimated the Hummer EV will do 350 plus miles on a full charge. That's on the high end for an EV, but it actually fares on the lower end compared to other electric trucks. The R1T, the Ford-backed electric truck, and Cybertruck boast 400 and 500 miles respectively, though both offer smaller battery packs that produce about half that. The Hummer EV will be the first car compatible with 350 kilowatt public chargers, which will allow it to charge 100 miles in 10 minutes. The price difference between the two is pretty substantial, which is expected. The base Hummer EV will start around $80,000, compared to the Cybertruck starting at about $40,000. but don't expect to see either of those models on the streets anytime soon. The Hummer EV Edition 1 will have a 6-figure price tag and should be available in fall 2021.
So as you saw from the video, even just the price ranges for the Hummer and also for the Cybertruck is massive. And some of the features that the Hummer has was the crab walk. So now, Elon Musk announced that the crab walk's going to also be included in the Cybertruck. And so we're also going to be getting some massive updates about the Cybertruck in the near future in 2022. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So also let me know in the comment section below what you think about General Motors trying to mock or troll Tesla Cybertruck by having these signs in their vehicles. So now let's go over and talk about General Motors CEO Mary, which claims and constantly states that General Motors is actually the #1 and the leader when it comes to electric vehicles in the United States. Not only that she claims that, she also talks about they're actually the leader when it comes to self-driving. So we're going to go over some recent interview that she did, which is very questionable because the interview actually asked her some great questions when it comes to Tesla and also why she's constantly stating that they are the #1. So let's check out this video, which is really astonishing to look at.
Right now, GM, in terms of the electric vehicle market, you have about 9–10% of the market. Tesla has about 63% of the market. 5 years from now, if you succeed, but everybody else has their own success in this space, what does that pie chart look like?
Well, we have said, just like we're the leader today, if you set aside, with the distortion that's happening with the semi shortage, we have been the leader in the United States. We've been #2 in China for many years. I think when you get to, wanting to get, excuse me, to, 50% all EVs, you have to win customers that they only drive one vehicle. They only own one vehicle. They depend on that vehicle every day. General Motors has brands that they trust. We have the highest loyalty rating. We have manufacturing plants that are ready to go. And so when I look at our ability to scale, to serve customers, I think we're incredibly well positioned, and we're not going to cede our leadership position to anyone.
One of the fun conversations we've had over the years is about self-driving cars.
Yes.
And who is in the lead and where everybody is. And for a long time, people thought that maybe Waymo, Google was at the top and Cruise was coming up there. And a lot of people thought for a long time that Tesla was actually going to be way behind because they weren't using LiDAR, they were just using cameras. It feels like things have changed. How do you see it right now?
Well, I see Cruise as being incredibly well positioned. I mean, Cruise literally in San Francisco is one permit away from being able to actually charge for rides in San Francisco. And it will be the only AV company working in a dense urban environment. And we know that's a tougher AV solution to solve. So I couldn't be more proud of what the Cruise team has accomplished. And I think one of the reasons they're, in the lead is because of the deep work that they're doing with General Motors. I mean, the deep integration of the technology, the fact that we're leveraging all the automotive know-how for the Origin that comes out in a year. So I'm super excited about it. But then we also have, Super Cruise and Ultra Cruise, which are a driver assist technology, but continuing to be more and more capable. Our technology has independently been assessed to be the best. And so I feel like we have a very robust plan as it relates to autonomy, coming at it with solving the super hard problem and then taking costs down, but also, continuing to increase. So I wouldn't trade our autonomy position with anyone.
So if I'll let you claim that you're in the lead, if you like.
Yes, I like.
Order them afterwards. Because I'm sure you study this.
I do, but the one thing in autonomous, I think you've got to look at who actually has vehicles on the road. I mean, I don't know if you saw the video just a week ago. Kyle took the first ride. No one. I mean, we're seeing, how people on the street respond. It's pretty cool. So I think in a space where there's not, complete transparency of who's really how far, I look at what we're doing, and I think that's what legitimately puts us in the lead.
Right. How concerned are you, though, that there will be an accident? You've seen this, by the way. I mean, the attention on when there's an accident with Tesla, there is so much attention on the autopilot feature and whether it's being mismarketed. I know you're not doing that, but how concerned are you about that? And we've talked, and I think I probably asked you this question before over the years. Politically, when do you think it'll be palatable to the country? Right now, we have about 30,000, 35,000 deaths on the road every year. But if I told you that number came down to even 1,000, but it's the robot, it's the computer that creates that accident, that creates that death, will the public accept that?
Well, I think when you look at how you can impact safety, I mean, right now we know of the deaths that you talk about just in the U.S. alone, over 90% of them are caused by human error. And autonomous vehicles don't drive impaired. They follow all of the traffic lines. They can, I think, process information with all the cameras and the compute power. They can process information faster. And so I think it's ultimately safer. And then when you take General Motors' knowledge of safety and how to put vehicles on the road and how to demonstrate that, I think that's going to be a compelling case.
Right. Policy question for you, Washington question for you. In particular, incentives, tax incentives for EVs. As you know, you have become now the beneficiary to some degree of this latest bill, in that there will be a bigger tax incentive for your vehicles because you have union labor than there will be for other vehicle makers, including the likes of Tesla and Toyota. Is that fair?
Well, I think the new legislation that's coming, I think what's really important to do is to level the playing field from the fact that the early movers were penalized. I mean, we've already used our 200,000 credits, so people who are just now rolling out an EV, they have a $7,500 advantage. I mean, I think when I look at, the trained workforce and wanting to have jobs in this country and good paying jobs, I think, the bill is set up to incentivize what the country is looking to build is a strong middle class.
So I'll make it more complicated. It appears by my math that on average, Tesla employees who are non-unionized appears on an hourly basis may be making more money than unionized workers, for example, at GM.
I'd have to see the information because it's not just the wage per hour, it's the benefits, it's the health care. There's a, pretty robust. My last look at that was not the case. But again, there's not, perfect transparent information. But what I would say is I'm incredibly proud of our workforce, our represented workforce, work hand in hand with the UAW.
But you appreciate that it does disadvantage the other automakers.
I think that, again, everyone has that option to do that. I mean, people have taken different positions. What I can say is we feel working with the UAW together, we've made great strides in safety, in quality, in training. I mean, if you think about one of the other things that has to happen is a robust workforce that knows how to build electric vehicles. We work in partnership with training with our unions.
Let me read you what Elon Musk said about this, though, because you probably have read this. He wrote, "This is written by Ford and UAW lobbyists as they make their electric car in Mexico. Not obvious how this serves American taxpayers."
Again, I think that it clearly incentivizes to be in this country, because remember, there's a component of built in the United States, and then buy jobs that are good paying jobs. So I think that, how the legislation turns out, I mean, that's not a done deal. The Build Back Better plan is not completely approved. What we're very supportive of is making sure that there's not a first mover disadvantage. But then I look at the other aspects of it, and I think it lines up with the administration's agenda.
Let me ask you a related question, and I'm sorry to harp on Tesla, but I know it's a company that you and others look at as, frankly...
I'd rather talk about GM,
though.
I
know, but I don't want to talk about Tesla in this regard, but I want to understand it. You've spent a lot of time with this new administration, and interestingly enough, they've had a number of meetings around EVs, and somewhat surprisingly, at least to some, Tesla has not been invited to those meetings. Do you know why that is?
I have no idea. I'm not in charge of the guest list.
But do you sit there and say this is a little strange, given the role that they played?
Andrew, I don't.
You don't? You really don't?
I don't give that a lot of thought. There's a lot of things I think about as it relates to competitors, but as I look at who's building the middle class, who has great opportunities, for a very talented workforce, that's not something I give a lot of thought to.
Okay.
What do you think about General Motors? Do you think that they have a chance to compete with Tesla? On yesterday's video, we talked about Ford CEO actually confirming that, okay, Tesla's the leader. We're trying to compete for second place. That is exactly what he said. But General Motors is very delusional, and they're constantly saying that, okay, we are the number one when it comes to electric vehicles. So let me know in the comments below what you think about that statement. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell if you want to stay up to date on what's going on with Tesla stock. Also, if you want to get free stocks, 5 free stocks from Momo, check out the links in the description box below. But I catch you guys on another video. Have a wonderful day.